WGM's Axel Boada. He joins us now with the details. Tell us about it.
Gene, the Rural Adams Development Corporation wants to see businesses build and expand in rural parts of the county, and they're willing to front a good chunk of the costs to make sure that happens. The RADC is offering potential business owners low-interest loans. Kurt Wolf's 104 Collision Body Shop near Liberty is the latest recipient of the loan. Officials say they're doing this because they want to see rural communities have more services and job opportunities.
There ain't very much inside of the walls of a body shop I haven't done before now. So, like I said, it's a new experience for me, but yet it's the same stuff I've been doing forever.
Coming up at 6, hear more about the program and how it makes starting businesses possible for those in rural areas, and also how you can apply for a loan. Reporting in the newsroom, Axel Boada, WGEM News. Well, fallen trees littered the streets of New London, Missouri, as residents worked on cleaning up debris and checking their homes for damage. Storms swept through several parts of the tri-states, but New London was hit especially hard by high winds and heavy rain. Public Works official Don Epperson says about 3 inches of rain quickly fell between 7:30 and 8:30 p.m., and some residents today say they've never before seen a storm like yesterday's.
I'll tell you, and we didn't even know this tree was gone until it slacked down. And my wife happened to look out the door, and she hollered at me. And it just snapped it like a match.
Epperson says besides a couple beat-up garages, there's been no reports of major damage to homes nor injuries. He says things could have gone a lot worse. Axel Boada, WGEM News. Gene and Leslie, police say they made the discovery while searching a home on Quincy's north side late last night. 2 rifles, 6 handguns, and meth packaged for sale were found in the home at 730 and a half North 5th Street. One of those guns was stolen in a prior burglary. Melinda Raymond, Shanique Ellis, and Brooke Osborne are charged with meth possession and having a gun without a FOID card. Stephen Mosley is also charged with meth possession, carrying a gun as a gang member and felon, and possession of a stolen firearm. Police say this is a good get.
There's no secret, last year was a pretty rough year for us in violent crimes. So we are putting more resources towards preventing those violent crimes.
Deputy Chief Vander Maiden says that while violent crimes have decreased by almost 8% in 2016, property crimes such as burglaries have risen by 25%. Reporting in the newsroom, Axel Boada, WGEM News. Leslie and Jean, today Quincy firefighters trained on how to rescue one of their own. Teams entered a room simulated with low visibility and low oxygen, trying to locate a fallen firefighter. Deputy Chief Steve Solerin says the department trains for any type of scenario. He says firefighters need to learn how to help their own in order to help others. Gene and Leslie, the American Heart Association says every 40 seconds, someone in the U.S. suffers a stroke. However, they are largely treatable if the right steps are taken. Jessica Luce of Blessing Hospital urges people to remember the acronym FAST when checking for signs of a stroke. That stands for face, arm, speech, and time. If a person is having difficulties moving these areas or speaking, then getting them to the hospital as quick as possible may save their life. Good evening. The Marion County Jail in Palmyra lost hot water on Thursday after a 12-year-old boiler system malfunctioned. Officials say a maintenance crew checking on the boiler found out it was at risk of exploding, so it was immediately shut off. The county commission approved an emergency contract yesterday to order and install a new one. The cost may be upwards of $20,000. Meanwhile, inmates are dealing with cold meals and cold showers.
Here with more details. Axel?
Good evening. Hannibal police officers and other first responders met today and yesterday to get a better understanding of autism and how to approach the disorder. Gene and Leslie, residents looking for a meal at the Ruby Tuesday on Broadway were instead greeted by a closed sign today. The local restaurant didn't reopen early this morning. Some employees didn't know about the closing until arriving to work. Others got a call early this morning saying not to come in.
Now, it's crashes like that that have local authorities worried this summer. Memorial Day is the beginning of what police call the 100 deadliest days for teen drivers. WGEM's Axel Boada live in Quincy tonight to explain. Axel?
Leslie, police say that more teen drivers on the road bring an increased risk of car crashes. In 2013, more than 650 teens died over the course of the summer, a 43% increase from the rest of the year. And police say that's something that could have been prevented. School's out, and for many teenagers, that means they're free to hit the road.
I'm driving, honestly, about all day, every day, whenever I get out of school to whenever I have to go home.
Today kicks off what is known as the 100 deadliest days of summer. Between today and Labor Day, teen crash rates and fatalities greatly increase. A recent study from Liberty Mutual Insurance reveals about 70% of teens admit to speeding and 40% admit to texting. With more drivers out on the road this summer, Quincy police are especially urging teens to pay attention.
Behind the wheel, the #1 priority should be driving. So any way to limit distractions and keep your eyes and your focus on the road.
During the summer, you feel like you need to go out and be wild and be free. So kids are just driving around, doing what they want, go fast, try to do drifts and all that kind of stuff. So it does get a lot more dangerous during the summer, I would say.
But some teens are looking to avoid that danger.
Ever since I was young, it's pounded into my head, you need to be safe while you're driving, and you need to put a good image out there, especially while you're driving.
Because one wrong move on the road could be the difference between life and death.
I'm mostly on that defensive driving, just kind of ride smooth and just cruise. Be safe on the road, make sure you're just keeping a clean head out there.
Quincy police say there are things you can do as a parent to lower your child's risk of getting in a crash, such as setting those expectations before they get behind the wheel. Live here in Quincy, Axel Boada, WGEM News. The ecstasy of victory.
This is probably my favorite year.
And the agony of defeat.
And then if one gets off, you're kind of down for a minute.
Competitors felt it all this morning at the 6th annual Fishing for Freedom tournament. The weekend-long event brings together wounded veterans from several states.
Everyone's out here just to have fun, and the camaraderie that we get from everybody, and just a whole group like a family that just start here, and your family just keeps growing, as the years go on.
These vets share a bond not only through fishing, but through their daily struggles with injuries. Some thought they'd never be out on the water again.
That was probably one of the first things that came to mind was, how am I going to do it?
Which is why organizer Brian Drawley wants to make sure they create lasting memories here.
Without them, we wouldn't have the freedoms that we have. I mean, we wouldn't have the freedoms to go fishing. Without them, we wouldn't have anything. So, I mean, they deserve everything.
Though there are other tournament locations, contestants here at Drawley Lake are competing just among themselves, and they're soaking in any opportunity for some friendly banter.
I think you guys are hiding stuff in there.
We got 45 minutes left.
Oh, yeah, it was a lot of fun trash talking amongst the boats and the vets and the boaters. We had a really good time.
And that good time helps turn strangers into family.
Every year you gain new friends, and it's a lasting friendship.
Axel Boada, WGEM News, Coatesburg, Illinois.
I was going to go off on my own.
Kurt Wolf's dream is now a reality.
It was time. 28 years of doing it for other people for that long. It just came to the point that it was time I just did that too.
Wolf is the owner of 104 Collision Inc., a body shop near Liberty, Illinois that opened its doors in January. And he received financial help from the Rural Adams Development Corporation, which offers low-interest loans for expenses not covered by conventional bank loans. The RADC's goal is to bring new businesses like Wolf's to rural parts of Adams County, with the hopes that it'll provide communities with services and jobs they otherwise may not get.
Well, every community likes to have some job opportunities for their young folks. Obviously, the big market that we're in, most folks go into work into Quincy.
But Mark Field hopes that'll change. He wants these loans to encourage people to build something in their own rural community.
It's intended to assist people get over the hump and get the project rolling, make good things happen out in the county.
Which may be easier said than done, even with the loan. Wolf is a first-time owner, and his shop is not yet fully staffed.
I haven't experienced the benefit or the displeasure of it. Like I said, I'm just fixing cars.
Still, he says he's happy to provide the Liberty area with a new shop.
You're talking several miles, possibly a whole nother town before you'll run into any facility that can do what we built impossible to do here.
And Wolf says that alone makes the loan program worthwhile. Axel Boada, WGEM News, Adams County.
So what's the best birthday present you've ever received?
For a Tri-State man, his 71st birthday gift is a throwback to his childhood. WGEM's Axel Boada joins us now with more. Axel.
Gene Leslie, losing something near and dear to your heart can be difficult. That's why one man's family thought bringing it back years later would be the perfect gift.
I don't think he had it very long.
A reunion decades in the making.
I was very shocked. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Roger Strauss is once again the owner of his 1955 Vespa 150, 51 years after parting with it. Strauss's family surprised him with the gift on his birthday last week. Today, he wants to thank the man who sold it back to them.
I don't think that he was ready to part with it, but My family can be pretty persuasive, I guess.
The scooter holds a lot of sentimental value for Steve Reniker, too, who bought it at age 13 from a customer on his newspaper route. He only agreed to sell it back to Strauss's family on the condition that it be restored, which is exactly what they did.
I guess I'm kind of an old-time guy that likes to see things not die.
The Vespa looks as good as new, but it's not ready to ride just yet.
It's still got some bugs in it we got to work out. It's been a learning process because we're not Vespa scooter mechanics by no means.
But Strauss says that's not the important part.
Getting the scooter back meant a lot to me, but what the effort that the family put into it also meant an awful lot to me.
Now, these two men shake hands, reliving their childhood and celebrating the bond that'll stay with them forever.
There's a lot of American people out here that wishes that they could have a piece of their past back. I just hope that Roger gets a lot of enjoyment out of it.
Axel Boada, WGEM News, Barrie, Illinois.
What a great story.
I know,
Strauss says his family just refuses to tell him how much it costs to buy back the scooter and restore it. They believe you cannot put a price on those childhood memories.
Very
How
true. Yes. Love the retro look, by the way. All right.
Too high to drive.
Would you know what to look for if your loved one was having a stroke?
Local health officials say knowing the signs could mean the difference between life and death. WGEM's Axel Boada has more. Axel?
Good evening, Leslie. Health officials say strokes are largely treatable if you know the warning signs. Sometimes those symptoms can be as minor as dizziness, which a Quincy woman found out about a year ago.
I'm telling you, I wouldn't have got out the door if it hadn't been for all of this.
It came seemingly out of nowhere.
I was just sitting here watching television, decided I would get up and go lay down for a little bit, and my feet just kept going that way, and down I went on the chair.
Last May, Quincy resident Dottie Hild began experiencing the early stages of a stroke. Even with swift treatment, the damage was done.
It just felt like a big block of cement laying there with me because nothing would move.
The American Heart Association says someone in the United States suffers a stroke every 40 seconds, and it can strike a person regardless of age and health. Blessing Hospital RN Jennifer Luce says people need to be aware of stroke signs as soon as possible.
So it can be happening to anyone. So if you're unsure, you're not real sure what is happening to a patient or your family or your loved one, you need to get help right away.
I've been always very, very active. And to go from that to nothing, was devastating for me.
Hild is still working toward getting back to 100%, but there's certain things now that she can do again, like cook.
It's so easy to not want to get up and do anything. So setting the goals has really been beneficial for me.
Jessica Luce of Blessing Hospital urges people to remember the acronym FAST when checking for signs of a stroke. That stands for face, arm, speech, and time. If a person is having difficulties moving these areas or speaking, then getting them to the hospital as quickly as possible may save their life. Cheers fill the air as these athletes race toward the finish line.
And to see them finally here, doing the event and see the smiles and them walking away with their awards you have to experience it to understand.
Special Olympics athletes from 8 counties competed in this year's Area 11 Spring Games on Sunday. They've spent 8 weeks training for the largest area event of the year. And gold medalists like Anthony Mullen qualify for the State Summer Games in June.
Got across the finish line, I was so happy.
Today's event is not only a chance for special needs athletes to showcase their skills, it's also an opportunity for the community to come together.
It's a great experience. I mean, you as an athlete, you understand the joy that you get once you compete, and being able to see that on their faces, it's great. It's great.
Good. This is a special day. This is something that a lot of people should come out and watch. It's inspiring to watch.
These athletes hope to keep inspiring others for a long time to come.
So Olympics is my passion. I will always do these for a living.
This line began at 5 a.m.
I was here probably about 4 hours.
But for those in need, the wait is well worth it. The Adams County Mobile Food Pantry was held at the Quincy Senior and Family Resource Center this morning. By the time doors opened at 10, the line wrapped around the block.
The lines are extremely long, but that's a great thing because we're helping out this community.
with 12,000 pounds of fresh produce, made possible by Madonna House's partnership with the Central Illinois Food Bank and other local groups.
It helps me so I can have things to cook. Sometimes I'm out of food and it brings food in.
It's a situation many at the pantry find themselves in, and Dietert says she's more than happy to help, as are the pantry's volunteers, big and small.
What's your favorite thing about helping out these people?
Well, I like giving them some stuff.
How does it make you feel?
It makes me feel good.
It makes Adams County residents feel good, too.
I am very overwhelmed. It's very touching that people does this, and they really have a concern for other people's.
You know, that's why we do what we do, and it's a struggle sometimes, but it's all worthwhile when you can see the smile on those folks' face.
Axel Boada, WGEM News, Quincy.
Set, go!
Sudden Perry Brockmeyer is like any other 3-year-old. He loves to laugh and play, but a rare disorder is keeping him from enjoying one of life's greatest pleasures, eating.
Sometimes even in our home, he will just cry standing at the refrigerator or in our pantry because he wants to eat, but he's afraid of the stomach pains.
Sudden has congenital sucrase isomaltase disorder, or CSID. His body is unable to digest certain sugars, and there's a major shortage of Sucrate, the only medicine that treats it. The only company that produces Sucrate has had problems with the manufacturing process since July 2015.
We're very worried, very nervous, would like some sort of idea when we'll be able to get more.
So far, the family has been given no timetable on when the shortage will end. They're counting on eating therapy alone to help Sudden.
So our hope is that through a non-threatening approach to eating, that he can become confident in food, that he can have more success at the table every time he goes to the table, so that he can learn, I eat and I feel okay.
The Perry Brockmeyers make several trips monthly to Springfield, Illinois, but with the Sucrate shortage, doctors are concerned about Sudden's progress.
I do get worried that all the work that we've done and everything that we are working towards is somewhat derailed by him not getting the recommended medication.
But the family isn't giving up.
We just keep pushing and keep trying and just hoping for that breakthrough again that he's already had.
Axel Boada, WGEM News, Springfield, Illinois.
Well, it is Bob Havens week here in Quincy as the city honors a living legend.
Indeed. Havens, who spent many years playing his trombone on the Lawrence Welk Show, set to perform now for his hometown audience this weekend.
And as WGEM's Axel Boada reports, Havens, who started performing at the age of 12, is still going strong at 85.
Bob Havens of Quincy, Illinois. And here they are with Chicago Style.
Bob Havens had no idea he'd become a professional musician.
When 1955 rolled around, I got the feeling that I would still rather play music.
Fast forward 6 decades, and he's still playing his trombone. A tribute concert honoring Havens' career is being held Saturday at the Morrison Theater. Havens has hand-selected a number of songs for the event, many of which come from his days on the Lawrence Welk Show.
The local band got copies of the music, and then I got to see it again, and it brought back memories.
And Havens has plenty of those. He played in the show's band for 22 years, far longer than he expected.
I figured I'd maybe last for a few months and maybe he would be dissatisfied.
But Welk kept Havens on, the longest stop on a career that's taken him all over the country, and now back to Quincy.
Well, I'm very excited. Not everybody gets to be honored by their hometown.
Axel Boada, WGEM News, Quincy.